right, welcome everybody to our regular scheduled city council meeting. Today is Tuesday, October 7th, 2025, and it's 6 p.m. I'll call this meeting to order, and we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll have Barb read the clerk's open meeting statement for us.
This meeting and all meetings of the Common Council are open to the public. Proper notice has been posted and given to the media in accordance with Wisconsin state statutes, so the citizens may be aware of the time, place, and agenda of this meeting.
And Barb, would you also take roll for us?
Yep. Mayor Smith?
Here.
Colin Dykstra?
Here.
Paul Hagan?
Here.
Eric Helverson?
Here.
Dimitri Martin?
Here.
Paul Mayo?
Here.
Corey Nagel?
Here.
Eric Olson?
Here.
Dave Peterson?
Here.
Scott Perchatsky? Henry Velliker?
Here.
9 present. We have a quorum.
And Barb, you want to start the introductions of the staff for us here?
Barb Nowak, City Clerk.
Josh Finch, City Administrator.
Eric Bailey, Library Director.
Juliana Stowe, Community and Economic Development Director.
Stephanie Reif, Finance Director.
Justin Behrens, Director of Public Works.
Laura Colbert, Parks and Rec Director.
Pete Krager, Chief of Police.
All right. Let's go on then to the consent agenda. These are items that we take one motion and vote on that motion with all those items in there, unless you see something that you would like to be moved to the regular agenda. Anybody want to make a motion to approve the consent?
Move to approve.
Motion by Olson.
Second.
Second by Peterson that we approve the consent agenda as printed. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, say no. Motion carried. Next up is the regular agenda. What you see is what we're going to work with tonight. So again, we would just need a motion to approve so that we can start the meeting here.
Move to approve the regular agenda.
Motion by Nagel, second by Hagan, that we approve the regular agenda as printed. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, say no. Motion carried. We have announcements and correspondence. We have a presentation of certificate of appreciation to Sharon Dean for her 10 years of service to the city. Sharon is she's here. Is our crossing guard on School Street, Badger Street there, and she's here tonight so we'll give her the certificate. You want to come up right through here? Smile. Turn around so the cameras can see you there. Okay, this is a certificate of appreciation. The certificate is awarded to Sharon Dean in recognition of her 10 years of service to the citizens of Waupaca since October 12th of 2015, and it's signed by the Mayor, Brian Smith, and our Council President, Paul Mayo. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have a couple of requests if I can do that.
It's your floor.
Okay.
For a minute or two.
I do complain about a couple of things.
Well, then you're done.
As you're coming from the hospital way and you're going towards town, I'm forever having traffic go into 2 lanes and turning onto State Street. Can we possibly have the city or somebody paint some X's so there's not a right lane? Because I have people that will sneak up onto that, people that are going to go straight over on crossing State Street and then turn right. And a couple of times I've had almost collisions of these 2 cars because they're going to go right. Because you're not supposed to be over in that. That's not a lane, but people don't understand that.
Okay.
And then can I possibly get a camera, body cam, so I can get the license plate? Because I can't get the license plate, and I can't keep it in my brain, and I can't write it because I got one hand up and love the drag.
We do.
Right there.
We do appreciate you making sure that our children are safe. I thank you for
And
that.
that's what I'm trying to do. Because they'll start up as I start walking away. But what if I haven't? I have had a child catch up to me and walk right behind me when I got cars coming out.
You know, I live right there, and I see you all the time, and for years, and I see what you're talking about. I see people do ridiculous things.
Just the other day, I had a police officer. I had one lady go right through me. I'm coming out there, and I'm getting in the center, and she's supposed to stop the minute I'm up there. Does she stop? No, she goes right through. But then I get out there in the middle. This other car comes across, but luckily there was a police car right in back of her. And she turned right, and he followed her, and I hope they gave her a ticket.
I hope so too.
Because it's ridiculous. So
Well, thank you,
tried
Sharon.
I tried to get these people to behave, but by the time.
Here's
we
to another
go off
10
in the
years for you.
summertime, And we come back in the wintertime, and I gotta start all over again. But each year is different.
I understand.
And I know the police say, well, the body cam is too expensive, you just don't want that. So we got one up there, but you can't get the license plate.
Sure.
It was okay when that building wasn't there being built. Nicole would sit there in the police car, and as I would go out, and then she'd see somebody, she would go get them. She'd get 4 or 5 a year, people.
Sure. I
We
understand.
really need to have something, because kids can go.
We'll talk about it at the staff level. Thank you.
Well, that's
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great evening, guys.
All right, we have a proclamation. It's the White Cane Safety Day. That's just in the, to place it on file there. You'll find that on page, what page? Sorry.
67.
Page 67. Okay, that's just for your records. And for public input, we have, this is for anybody that wants to speak to us on a non-agenda item. And I know Dave is here tonight. If, Dave, you want to step up to the.
May I sit and talk? I have a need.
You want to go over and sit next to Eric there? We need you to be on a microphone.
I'm getting a knee replacement in 5 weeks, so it's a little hard for me to stand.
So
Thank you very much.
please introduce yourself and remember that we would like you to limit it to 3 minutes or less.
I'm going to try. Dave Nemisek. I live on
please
Sunrise
adjust?
Court.
Pull the
Adjust the
microphone down.
microphone down.
Dave Nemisek. I live on Sunridge Court, very near you. I'm looking at the ordinance for ATVs and UTVs. I love going up north and riding it through the roads, through the country. And what I enjoy is the towns up there are very open-minded as far as letting them come into the town. The Chamber of Commerce up there actually advertises on the radio, inviting them in, trying to get tourism in there and help the local businesses. It's very hard to get into this town if you own a UTV, especially if you're out in the Chain of Lakes area. You have to go all the way Crystal Lake Road to E and in. You can't go through Fulton Street or West Fulton Street because of the way it's set up. I'm proposing, I really believe you should eliminate the rule about being downtown. I think the businesses, a lot of the businesses don't even know that rule exists when I've mentioned it to them. I think it'll help. People will come in, they will spend money in the city, and that's what we want. We want the businesses to thrive from it. West Fulton Street can be fixed very easily, 2 ways. Josh, you got my email? Okay. There's 2 things you can do. You can pass an ordinance allowing ATVs and UTVs on West Fulton Street in your jurisdiction, even with the speed limit in excess of 35 miles an hour. You can do that. Or you can slow that 7 blocks down to 35 all the way to QQ. I think the best thing to do, personally, is to slow it down. If you have ever come from Stevens Point and you get off at 10 and you want to make a left into town, at certain times during the day, it can be really hairy to try to do that. You're shaking your head. It is. Slowing it down, I think, would be safer and make it easier to do that. And that would also fix the problem of being able to come in to town that way without making some kind of ordinance up or changing it. I'm all about increasing business for the business owners in town. I mean, if I could ride it in, go to Simpson's, go to Low Fat Gretchen's, go into town at the farmer market, go to the candy store, and all that stuff. It may not make a huge difference, but it'll help, and every little bit helps, and they're actively pursuing tourism. This would help pursue it here in town. That's it, unless anybody has any questions.
Yeah, Dave, thank you. We have, I don't know how many years we've had in place the allowance of UTVs and ATVs in our community, although there are certain areas in our community where the council did not agreed not to allow that, and we can have that discussion. That would probably be City Planning Commission, I'm guessing, right? And Justin's on there too, because that would have to do with the highways.
It appears to be in the traffic code.
Traffic code? Well, part of it would be traffic code, yeah. So it would probably also be the police chief too. I have to tell you, I'm in favor of allowing more UTVs and ATVs, so maybe that will make city council at least think about it a little bit more in doing that. So appreciate your comments.
Sure.
I'm afraid to say we'll talk about it because Sharon didn't like it. You might not like it either then if I say that, so. But
I
we will
totally get
discuss
it, but it's easy to rectify, and he has the information on it.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming today.
Anytime.
Appreciate it. All right, any other public input? Anybody else have any other public input for tonight? All right, let's move on to unfinished business. We have ordinance number 13-2025. This is an ordinance amending Chapter 18A, City of Waupaca Parks and Recreation Areas. This is the second reading tonight, so Laura, you want to just explain this ordinance real quick again?
Sure, thanks, Mayor. So my memo references this ordinance and the next ordinance that we'll talk about because they are linked. So the first ordinance, as the mayor had mentioned, references our $10 beer permit fee. We, in previous years, had collected that through the Parks and Rec Department, but through research with the clerk's office, we realized that there's no state requirement for said permit. There was no concerns by the police department, and so we had the Parks and Rec Department or board approve this removal in November 7th of 2024. We also raised some fees for shelter rentals to offset the costs that we would not get through the beer permit fees. In realizing, as we're implementing this, that we actually have an ordinance stating that we have an additional beer permit, we want to rewrite the ordinance. So you can find the strike through on page 71, where we have taken out the second point, and that second point references a different ordinance, which is the second ordinance that I will talk about. And as the clerk and I were going through the second ordinance, we realized that there was a lot of language that needed to be cleaned up. And you can see that on page 73 with the strike through. So we essentially took what was in the state code and put that into our code or our ordinance so that it was reflecting the language from the state. And we thought that by doing all of this, it would reduce unnecessary administrative work, it would make the shelter process more user-friendly, and it would align our local regulations with the state and departmental practices. And again, the police department and the clerk are on board for this.
Okay, so you actually talked about both ordinances then? I'm
Yes.
a little, okay.
Yep, thanks, Mayor.
Yeah, okay, so the first one is 13-2025. These are both second readings, so if you're okay with them, we would make a motion to approve it. just make sure that we're gonna just do 1325 first of all, which is really just eliminating, that number 2, which had to do with the consumption of alcohol. And you can find that on page 70 of your packet. So if you're okay with that, we would need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve ordinance number 1325.
Second.
Motion by Olson, second by Martin, that we approve ordinance number 13, 2025. Any discussion? Barb will call the roll.
Eric Olson,
Aye.
Eric Halverson,
Aye.
Henry Veliker,
Aye.
Paul Mayo,
Aye.
Dave Peterson,
Aye.
Colin Dykstra,
Aye.
Dimitri Martin,
Aye.
Corey Nagel,
Aye.
Paul Hagan,
Aye.
9 ayes, motion carried.
Okay, and then this is where, in 14-25, this is where they actually talk about the consumption of alcohol in our parks. And and as Laura said, we updated it using some state language in there. You can find that on page 72. So if you're okay with that, again, we'd be looking for a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Martin, second by Nagel, that we approve ordinance number 14-2025. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Wait,
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. You get to say it again here. Roll call. Thanks.
Corey Nagel,
Aye.
Paul Hagan,
Aye.
Henry Veliker,
Aye.
Eric Halverson,
Aye.
Dave Peterson,
Aye.
Colin Dykstra,
Aye.
Dimitri Martin,
Aye.
Paul Mayo,
Aye.
Eric Olson,
Aye.
9 ayes, motion carried.
I think I've said this before, Laura, but I think I do, and I think council, I'll speak for them too, do appreciate seeing what the ordinance did look like and what it would look like after it's completed with that strike through. That helps a lot.
Thanks, Mayor.
Yeah, next up is ordinance number 05-2025. This is an ordinance to amend the City of Waupaca Year 2030 Comprehensive Plan. And again, this is the second reading. And Juliana, you want to take that?
Thank you, Mayor. This is an amendment that will affect 6 parcels in the city. The first parcel is located at 660 Hillcrest Drive, which will be transferred from the neighborhood mixed use to community mixed use. This will then allow for that parcel to be merged with an adjacent parcel to facilitate the construction of an AutoZone retail store at that location. For the next 2, 407 School Street and 415 School Street, both of those parcels will be switched to civic and institutional. That property is the location of the rec center and rec center addition, which will then allow for the merger of those 2 parcels. Finally, the last 3 parcels listed with no address assigned are located south of US Highway 10 and east of County Road A. This is to change those parcels to industrial, based off of the feasibility assessment that was prepared for the city earlier this year.
Thanks, Juliana. And is it fair to say that when you say industrial, it's light industrial? And
It is not distinguished in the comp plan. That would only come out in the rezone, in which we distinguish between light industrial and heavy industrial.
Okay, but it's not saying that it's heavy industrial.
Correct.
Okay, all right, thank you. So this is just for the comprehensive plan part of that. This is ordinance number 05-2025. Again, we'd be looking for a motion to approve. Anybody?
Motion to approve.
Ordinance.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I can second if you like.
Motion by Eric Olson,
I'll
second by
second.
Paul Hagan, that we approve ordinance number 05-2025. Any discussion? Barb will call the roll.
Paul Hagan,
Aye.
Dimitri Martin,
Aye.
Corey Nagel,
Aye.
Paul Mayo,
Aye.
Dave Peterson,
Aye.
Colin Dykstra,
Aye.
Eric Halverson,
Aye.
Henry Veliker,
Aye.
Eric Olson,
Aye.
9 ayes, motion carried.
Okay, and then on ordinance number 06-2025, which starts on page 75, this is dealing with rezoning. I'm assuming these same parcels, but Juliana, go ahead.
Yes, this is for the rec center property at 407 School Street and 415 School Street. You can see the staff report beginning on page 76 of the packet. The current zoning is in the B1 Neighborhood Business District. And this relates to one of the comprehensive plan amendments that was just mentioned. The future land use of the parcels will now be civic and institutional. The proposal is to rezone these two parcels to the PUL, Public Facility and Utility Lands District, which is intended to encompass municipal buildings, with the proposed land use here for government buildings. Based off of the assessment, this is compliant with the district standards for the PUL district.
Okay, and the actual ordinance is on page 75. I'm sure you have all had a chance to take a look at it. Again, this is just a second reading, so we would need a motion to approve if you're okay with it. Anybody?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Peterson, second by Olson, that we approve ordinance number 06-2025, an ordinance amending 17.102 zoning district maps as allowed for under section 17.70. Any discussion? Barbara, call the roll.
Colin Dykstra,
Aye.
Eric Olson,
Aye.
Corey Nagel,
Aye.
Paul Hagan,
Aye.
Dave Peterson,
Aye.
Paul Mayo,
Aye.
Eric Helverson, Henry Veliker,
Aye.
Dimitri Martin,
Aye.
9 ayes, motion carried.
Ordinance number 07-2025. This is an ordinance amending 17.102 zoning district map as allowed under section 17.7 for a different property. So Juliana, you want to just explain that?
This is for the county courthouse located at 811 Harding Street. The staff report begins on page 87 of the packet. The current zoning is a mix of 3 different zoning districts, including the B1, R1, and RC districts. This will unify all of those districts into a single zoning of the PUL, Public Facility and Utility Lands District, for a proposed land use of government buildings. This aligns with the future land use map, which designates this for civic and institutional uses.
Okay, and this one is on page 85 of your packet. Again, anybody have any questions? Anybody want to make a motion to approve this ordinance?
Move to approve ordinance number 07-2025.
Second.
Motion by Nagel, second by Veliker, right?
Yes.
That we approve ordinance number 07-2025. Any discussion? If not, Barbara, call the roll.
Eric Olson,
Aye.
Corey Nagel,
Aye.
Dimitri Martin,
Aye.
Dave Peterson,
Aye.
Paul Mayo,
Aye.
Eric Helverson,
Aye.
Henry Veliker,
Aye.
Paul Hagan,
Aye.
Colin Dykstra,
Aye.
9 ayes, motion carried.
Pretty much the Juliana show here tonight, isn't it? Next up is ordinance number 09-2025. This is an ordinance amending 17.102 zoning district map as is allowed under 17.7 for a property on West Fulton Street. Juliana, go ahead.
This is for 702 West Fulton Street for the AutoZone development that I mentioned earlier. This current zoning is the B4 Strip Commercial District with the Fulton Street Corridor Overlay District. This currently has a community mixed use designation under our future land use map and relates to that amendment for 660 Hillcrest Drive, the adjacent parcel, to align those two designations. The proposal is to rezone this parcel on West Fulton to the B3 General Commercial District to align the zoning across those two parcels as well. The proposed land use is for a retail store with less than 10,000 square feet in sales floor area. This rezone application complies with the district standards and the permitted land use.
All right, you heard Juliana's explanation. Again, we'd be looking for a motion to approve 09-2025.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Martin, second by Nagel, that we approve ordinance number 09-2025. Any discussion? Barbara, call the roll.
Henry Veliker,
Aye.
Eric Olson,
Aye.
Paul Mayo,
Aye.
Dimitri Martin,
Aye.
Dave Peterson,
Aye.
Corey Nagel,
Aye.
Eric Halverson,
Aye.
Paul Hagan,
Aye.
Colin Dykstra.
Aye.
9 ayes, motion carried.
One more that has a second reading here. This is ordinance number 10-2025. Again, this is for zoning changes. So Juliana, if you want to just speak to this one.
This applies to the River North subdivision, and the staff report begins on page 110 of the packet. The current zoning is the R3 multifamily residential district, and the future land use map designates this for community mixed use. The applicant has proposed to rezone the parcels to the R1 single family residential district. This is a requirement of the subdivision plat documents to rezone this entire subdivision to the R1 or R2 district to ensure the zoning aligns with the proposed land use, which is single family detached dwellings, and that the lots meet the district standards for the minimum lot width.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on this one? This is on page 107 of your packet. If you're okay with that, we would need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Ordinance 10-2025.
Motion by Veliker, second by Olson, that we approve ordinance number 10-2025. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by, oh,
Nope, roll call.
thanks, Barb. I got the look. Barb will call the roll.
Corey Nagel,
Aye.
Eric Olson,
Aye.
Paul Hagan,
Aye.
Dimitri Martin,
Aye.
Eric Halverson, Henry Veliker,
Aye.
Dave Peterson,
Aye.
Paul Mayo,
Aye.
Colin Dykstra.
Aye.
9 ayes, motion carried.
All right, that's old business. New business. We have ordinance number 12-2025. This is an ordinance amending chapter 14.05, parent 9, minor repairs of the municipal code of the city of Waupaca. This is a first reading, so Juliana, you just want to tell us what we're trying to do there.
This is an amendment to the building code to the section for minor repairs, which allows for the building inspector to give written authorization, a waiver to the building permit requirement for minor repairs or alterations with the value of less than $2,500, which is calculated as the market value of both materials and labor. This ordinance change is based off of an increase in the cost of construction, as the current ordinance has a limit of just $500. We've also made amendments to the language to allow to make it clearer that written authorization may be obtained in lieu of a building permit application.
Thank you. And again, this is just the first reading, so we'll take this up again at the meeting on October 21st. I'm still kind of looking at minor repairs are $2,500. I know I must be getting old, but $2,500 doesn't seem like it was minor at one time, does it? Next up, we have a certified survey map, and this is for the Russ Young subdivision. Juliana, you want to explain what's going on there too, please?
Yes, there is a memo on page 121 of the packet. This property is located at the corner of Duck Lake, the undeveloped street, Duck Lake Drive, and Charles Wright Drive. The property is currently not serviced by municipal utilities on Duck Lake Drive, while a new development on Charles Wright Drive will be able to connect to municipal utilities. This certified survey map will split the property shown on page 122 of the packet up on the screen. You can see in the bottom right that there is a small trapezoid that will be split off from the remainder of the undeveloped property on this survey map. This will then allow for the applicant, Barb Young, to submit a condo plat to put a single family home and a duplex on that small parcel on Charles Wright Drive. In the future, there would be an additional phase or phases to further develop the property designated as Lot 2. This aligns with the current zoning in the R3 district.
Okay, thanks, Juliana. Barb Young, who is in charge of this, was at the City Planning Commission meeting and did explain her plan for the rest of the property that's there. She does plan on building it out, which is awesome, because we have an investment there. She has a huge investment, but we have an investment there too, so it's pretty nice. So at this time, we'd be looking for a motion to approve this certified survey map.
Move to approve.
Motion by Veliker,
Second.
second by Helverson, that we approve the certified survey map for the Russ Young Properties LLC. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, say no. Motion carried. Laura, you're up next. Township Youth Program Fund Memorandum of Understanding and Approval.
Thanks, Mayor. I didn't want Juliana to have the whole show tonight by herself. All right, so up until this fiscal year, we've always had the same agreement with the townships in which they pay $16.86 per resident. This fiscal year, we worked with the townships and finance and determined that we would like to increase by the cost of living. That cost of living came a little bit later than their fiscal year, so it was difficult for them. So this July, we started working with the townships and finance to determine how we want to move forward. We want to continue to increase by cost of living because we're increasing by cost of living, and this is good practice so that we don't ask them for thousands of dollars down the road to bring it back up to where we need to offset our costs. So what we agreed was we would use the prior fiscal year's ERP, which is the expenditure restraint percentage, to dictate how we increase the cost of living for the next fiscal year. So as I mentioned, the townships were in agreement with this. They wanted to make sure that we were also increasing as a city and that all townships were held to the same standard, which we will definitely do. And make sure that we also keep in mind the number of participants that sign up for activities from each township, because they want to make sure that the participant number is growing as well as the percentage that they're putting in. So we will continue to meet with them on an annual basis, most likely in July before the budget season starts, to make sure that this is how we're going to move forward. And they were all happy to hear that. So you can see on page 125, I just put one MOU as an example in here instead of all three, but we've highlighted in yellow the equation that we use to determine how much each of the three townships will provide, and then a little bit of an explanation of what the ERP means. So I would just look for a recommendation to approve I recommend to approve the 2026 township MOUs.
So when you say that, you're talking about all three of the MOUs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Should we state the dollar amount per capita in the motion, just so it's on the record?
Yeah,
Well, I guess you reference in this.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Oh, to put the dollar amount?
Yeah, I think so. So anybody want to make a motion?
It's your idea, Henry.
Henry?
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll make a motion since it was my idea. I'll make a motion to adopt the 3 recreation agreements with our surrounding townships at the base rate of $17.40 times the ERP inflation factor that gets adjusted each year based on the previous year's inflation factor.
So the amount.
And these are how, there's no term agreement on this, right, Laura?
So it does say on the end of the MOU that it will renew automatically. I will most likely change that language, but that's what it says at this time. because we will be meeting annually to discuss,
So the amount for 2026 then is going to be the $17.46.
$17.96 because the 1740 times the 3.2%. So you can see that in the equation above.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
$17.96.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you. And, got this, Barb? And let's name the three communities too, then it would be,
Township of Waupaca, Farmington, and Dayton.
okay. Is that all right, Henry?
Perfect.
That's your motion?
So I'll second that.
Motion by Velker, second by Olson, that we approve the MOUs with the three townships. Any further discussion?
I do have
Any
a question.
discussion? Yeah, go ahead.
Just for context, when's the last time this was adjusted?
So prior to me getting here, it had, I don't know how many years it was at 1686, but it was many years. So this fiscal year is the first time that we added any sort of increase for the
Well, I
townships.
commend the staff to make that happen, but I'll assert the townships have been a hell of a deal for a long time. And I appreciate them stepping up and carrying their weight.
Thanks, Henry. Any other comments?
I have a
Ready to
question.
vote? Go ahead.
Just a discussion. How do they determine the value, the number for the population?
That's a great question. So we've been using the same demographic data since I've been here. So we're always using the same resource, and we look at how that goes up and down. And I can get that for you. I just don't know it off the top of my head, but
Okay,
yeah,
that's fine.
yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? All right, Barb will call the roll.
Dimitri Martin.
Aye.
Wait a second. Do we have a second?
Yeah, Eric did.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. I didn't have it down. Paul Hagan.
Aye.
Colin Dykstra.
Aye.
Henry Veliker.
Aye.
Eric Halverson.
Aye.
Paul Mayo.
Aye.
Dave Peterson.
Aye.
Eric Olson.
Aye.
Corey Nagel.
Aye.
9 ayes, motion carried.
All right, thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
All right, next up, City of Waupaca and our AI policy. I see Josh has made it into the room, so, hey, Josh.
Hello. So Greg Groman and I have been tasked with starting to work on some AI initiatives for the city. One of those was doing a staff workshop back in September to, introduce AI and talk about how it's being used. And something else that we felt was important early on was getting a policy in place. So AI is pretty new. I think everyone's still getting their arms around it. But both from what he's learned as he's used it and from the IT perspective, I think there's a lot of considerations we need to make sure we have up front to protect the city. The policy has been available for staff and department heads to review. It's gone through and has been approved by the Personnel Committee, where we've kind of worked through a couple changes on it to make it more clear. Staff and department heads outside that committee have had the opportunity to review and suggest changes to their department's representative on that committee. Greg and I looked at a number of other policies from other cities. Some were very short and very broad. Some were pages and pages long and very detailed. I also had a conversation with the League of Wisconsin Municipalities attorney regarding this policy and going through some areas that maybe my expertise wasn't strong to make sure we had those covered appropriately. So the goal of this policy that we put together, or kind of our mindset, is we want it broad, we want minimal restrictions, but making sure we're protecting certain key areas for the city. We don't want to stifle things that AI could help us with now or down the road. And there's kind of 4 key areas in it. Making sure that protected data is not exposed to AI engines unless it's vetted and approved. So that could be anything from credit card data, HIPAA, law enforcement data, employees' personal information, our utility customer information. Some of that's protected per the PSC. Another example might be inputting closed session information from a council meeting, because we don't know what all those AI engines are doing with that. So it's reminding employees, don't be putting that stuff out there, because unless we're using a tool that's been vetted and we truly know is protecting it. The second area is ethical and responsible use, with some reminders in there that anything that the city does AI related should be reviewed by a human before we use it, before we publish it. You don't want to just make something and shove it out there quick and find out it's inaccurate or something's wrong with it. And as cool as AI can be with aiding on certain tasks or maybe filling in on some areas that you don't have the best expertise, it's not perfect. It makes mistakes, so it's kind of driving that point home. We did put a procurement process in here, so the goal of this policy isn't to review every little tool people use. I'm sure many of you have been exposed to different aspects of AI on the internet. It's kind of being built into everything you use nowadays. But we did put a process in here that if the city is going to enter into a formal agreement in excess of 1 year, if it would be a tool that would be one that we would put protected data into, or if the total cost of the tool would be in excess of $1,000 a year, those are kind of the triggers. Hey, let's take a little bit of a closer look before we procure it. And that the people responsible for that would be myself, the city administrator, and then the department head at minimum, just to look through it, vet it. And we'd be looking at things, making sure we're not having overlapping tools. Maybe there's some licensing or cost efficiencies if shared between departments. If it's a type of tool, and I'll use law enforcement for an example, a lot of their data is protected by CGIS. Triple checking that tool's truly protecting that data. It's not going to expose us before we procure that tool. And kind of the last area on here is dealing with open records. And that was kind of one of the key areas that I dealt with the league attorney on, is how do you handle that? And they're getting a lot of questions to their office about that. So things that are in draft form aren't covered in open records, but once it becomes a final work product, then it becomes open records. So this is kind of discussing that, talking about how we're going to retain those records. So let's say I use AI as an example to help me proofread and wordsmith an email. Well, I'm going to eventually send that email out so it's preserved through our email archiving. Or if you use it on a memo, that memo is probably preserved. But if you've got something that maybe isn't going outside the AI software, that maybe a final product, it's explaining to employees, hey, you need to save it on your computer somewhere. Kind of the last point is if an employee is going to register to use any AI tools, they need to use their city email address to do that, and not using personal accounts. And that gives us the opportunity, if the employee departs the city or if there's an open records request, that makes sure we have the ability ultimately to gain access to that account to get what we need. In addition to this policy, so this is meant to be a broad policy to protect the city. Departments, if they feel the need, are encouraged to put additional guidelines or policies in place, because each department's different. Each department has different requirements they need to meet. So there might be some departments that may put things in place beyond this that are a lot more strict. There's some that might just default right to this, and that is it. So that's kind of the explanation of how we got here, what the policy's about, and if anyone's got questions or concerns, I'd be happy to try to address those.
Anybody have any questions? This is really just kind of a question about considering it a policy. I mean, I'm trying to figure out, should this be in an ordinance form? Or, I mean, did you think about that when you were going through this? I'm just trying to...
Yeah.
Okay.
No, the intent of this, and that's a great question, was to become part of the employee handbook. So this was done at the personnel committee level, and that's more or less to get the handbook and policies up to date. So that was, unless there's other opinions, that was my mindset, is we're just going to slide this into the handbook.
I mean, the main reason that I actually asked is to make sure that we don't do this policy and then it gets hidden somewhere and we don't ever use it. So as long as you have a plan for where you're going to put it, I think that's a great idea. So, I think we're all scratching the surface to figure out what this is all about.
You
So
could
we
be
really
back in 2 years with something totally different here.
Yeah. Appreciate your hard work, yours and Greg's hard work on this. Anybody else have any questions? You okay with this policy? If you are, then we would be looking for a motion to approve.
Make a motion that we approve the proposed AI policy as presented to the council.
Second.
I'm sorry, who? Colin? Okay. Motion by Veliker, second by Dykstra, that we approve the City of Waupaca AI policy, which will become part of the employee handbook.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah. Any other further discussion? If not, Barb will call the roll.
Dave Peterson,
Aye.
Eric Olson,
Aye.
Paul Mayo,
Aye.
Dimitri Martin,
Aye.
Henry Veliker,
Aye.
Corey Nagel,
Aye.
Eric Halverson,
Aye.
Paul Hagan,
Aye.
Colin Dykstra.
Aye.
9 ayes, motion carried.
You okay? Okay. All right, next up, we have sale of hangar number 7, Robert and Peggy Eben to Daniel Hayes. Paul Hagan, you want to take this?
Although, thanks for the warning.
Yeah. 30 seconds.
On page 129 of the packet is a transfer sale of hangar number 7, Robert and Peggy Eben to Daniel Hayes. It's an existing hangar. The only thing I note on there is in the copy in the packet, there is no lease term filled in, which I'm not sure if that's.
It is a 30-year.
Yeah, but it's not, okay, but it's not in the actual lease that's in the packet. So.
We'll make sure that's filled in.
Okay.
But it's for 30 years.
Okay, that's.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, appreciate that.
So I would make a motion to approve that.
Motion by Hagan,
Second.
second by Veliker, that we approve the sale of hangar number 7. Any discussion? Barbara, call the roll.
Eric Olson,
Aye.
Dimitri Martin,
Aye.
Corey Nagel,
Aye.
Paul Mayo,
Aye.
Dave Peterson,
Aye.
Colin Dykstra,
Aye.
Eric Halverson,
Aye.
Henry Veliker,
Aye.
Paul Hagan.
Aye.
9 ayes, motion carried.
And then on page 136 is the new original lot lease for Michael Bohm. And according to Matt, that's pretty darn close to our last spot for the moment anyways, which is actually good news. And this one is for 30 years. I would make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Hagan, second by Martin, that we approve the new hangar lot lease for number 23 to Michael Bohm. Any discussion? Barbara, call the roll.
Eric Olson,
Aye.
Henry Veliker,
Aye.
Paul Hagan,
Aye.
Corey Nagel,
Aye.
Dave Peterson,
Aye.
Colin Dykstra,
Aye.
Dimitri Martin,
Aye.
Henry Veliker,
Aye.
Paul Mayo.
Aye.
9 ayes, motion carried. Oh,
think
yeah,
I
you're on there
counted
twice.
twice.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Eric
Aye.
Halverson.
Aye.
I have some moments sometimes.
Thank you. Paul, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, next up then, we have discussion and possible action on a memorandum of understanding between the City of Waupaca and the Waupaca Arts Hub. Josh?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So yes, on page 143, you can see the staff memo to council regarding a general update with the conversation with Waupaca Arts Hub. They had reached out to us a few months ago inquiring about a possibility of a partnership to do a little bit of an assistance with snow removal. Based on the conversation with Public Works, we do feel that it is an adequate avenue for us to partner up with the Arts Hub for the sake of snow removal within the actual property itself. They would be maintaining and clearing the parking lot with the assistance of Salting as able. It would not be doing anything with the sidewalk. This would give us access and the ability to utilize their parking lot for purposes. We do use the driveway as an access route, so it is something that would be able to be maintained.
All right. Anybody have any questions? We'd be looking for a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mayo, second by Peterson, that we enter into a MOU between the city of Waupaca and the Waupaca Arts Hub for snow removal. Any discussion? Go ahead, Colin.
I'm certainly very, very, very supportive of this. My only question would be is where does liability lie if someone eats it on their property and hurts themselves on a part that we shoveled?
That's in there, isn't it, Josh?
It should be city responsibility.
That
Yeah, it is.
5?
It was in there. Pretty sure it's in there. They would be. We would not own liability on that. It was in there.
Oh, here it is. WCAB will hold the city harmless with any slips or falls. Sorry, it's under
Yeah.
3.
Oh,
3A,
third
last
bullet
bullet
point.
point. My bad, sorry.
Nope, all good.
Pretty good, Colin.
Glad we were able to clarify that.
Okay, anybody else? Any discussion? If not, just voice vote here. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, say no. Motion carried. Josh, thank you.
Thank you.
License report number 1738, which is on page 147. There's numerous names on there for operator's license or bartender's license. We're just looking for a motion to approve those.
Move to approve license report number 1738.
Second.
Motion by Dykstra, second by Veliker, that we approve license report number 1738. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, say no. Motion carried. Communications, recommendations of the mayor. First of all, we are going to have a committee of the whole meeting next Tuesday. All right, so that's not a regular schedule, that's a special meeting. So officially, it's Tuesday, October 14th. It will begin at 6 p.m. It is going to be a closed session. The discussion will be on personnel. So department heads will be here that night also, and they'll make a presentation at that time. And this will be personnel discussion to put into the 2026 budget. So, all right. I just wanted to put this out here. Waupaca County was on the news today. They're working on their budget. They have they're trying to balance their budget, and I don't want that. We haven't even presented our budget, so I want to make sure that people know that it's Waupaca County that was on the news today and not the city of Waupaca. Okay, so if you hear anything on that, or if you watched the news tonight, you probably saw that. And lastly, of course, the Milwaukee Brewers are 2-0.
Awesome.
One more game, and we're on to the next level. So hopefully we get a big victory tomorrow night. Anybody else have anything for the good of the meeting tonight? Colin, go ahead.
Not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before, I happened to be listening to the radio and heard a familiar voice. I wanted to point out to everybody that Juliana took some time and got on the radio with Mark Gerlach, I guess Chuck Reynolds, etc., and was interviewed. Her post is on, I don't know how you pronounce this, Curiouser? And so if you want to check it out, I thought it was a really good interview. And thank you for doing that. And thanks for being part of our community and letting people know who you are. I thought that was a really great thing to do.
Thank you.
Thanks, Colin. Anybody else? Anything for tonight? All right. Motion by Hagan, second by Olson, that we adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carried. We're adjourned at 6:54 p.m. Have a great night, everybody. Drive safe.